Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Man, this is going to be great. Okay, we got a lot of stuff to do today. This is episode 5 of the DIY Compact Motion Simulator. So what we're going to do, a couple different things today. Alright, as a quick recap, what we've done so far. So I kind of urge you to watch some of the other episodes 1 through 4 to see where we are and to see how the dimensions and stuff like that. So what we've done so far is build the bottom frame. We've built the mid frame, which, you know, it'll roll back and forth. Today we're going to be mounting the seat to this upper frame, and hopefully finding the balance point for this. I have a little race I've got to do at the Gentlemen's League.
Puppy Dog from Hell is 11th, is fighting for position with D-Max.
So what I'm making basically are these things. They're going to attach, I built a bolt into the frame, and then this part will weld to the rail of the seat. So I got to cut these little angles in half. Alright guys, so let's take a look at this thing. I got it all tacked in. Basically, this is going to be structure. I'm going to be able to bolt these in different positions if I want to along the frame rails. So it should move. It's not like automatically adjustable, but I think it'll be fine. So if we take a look at, it should be able to go back and forth. Added just a little bit of weight to it. Now obviously I still have to finish welding it up. And I'm probably going to put a very small crossbar between these two. Because it is a plastic seat, it does flex a little bit. So you might be thinking, oh my gosh, it's straight. Well, it is straight, but the seat has this interior angle of about, I don't know, maybe 12 degrees or something like that. So even though it looks like it's flat, it'll hold me in. It's not going to be like, if it was flat, it'd be like this. All right, I still have some work to do before I try to find the center line or the center of gravity. I just got done with my race. I think I came in 11th the first race and maybe 5th or 6th the second. It was a good fun race. And basically the seat's going to sit here. I have to disconnect the V3 pedals to add that weight. I've got to start building the structure for the DD wheel. Now I am still debating on which wheel to get. I did ask some of my friends, since I do have the CSL Elite, I asked them if my wheel, the round part, would work on the CSL DD. And they said yes. I did look at the Moza wheel, the Moza 9, I think. It looks pretty interesting, but I don't really need the pedals and all that stuff, so we'll see. I'm going to be ordering something soon. So I do have the weight of all these different wheels, so even if I do mount my CSL on here to get the center of balance, I can make sure by pre-weighing it that it weighs the same as whatever wheel I'm waiting for in the mail. So, all right, let me get some of this stuff welded up and I'll be right back. Planning ahead for the butt kicker, I've got this inch square tubing right here. And what I'm going to be doing is mounting it to the back the best way that I can so that I can extract the butt kicker, you know, if I need to. Let's just see if I can do that. Yep. Okay, so put that away. I need to make a mark right here to follow the angle, and I'm going to leave a little bit of the metal open so I can hammer it down and make a cap. So I'm going to mark the opposite side right here, and what I want to do is kind of keep this top flap for like a cap to bend down. So I'm going to cut it out like that, leave that top flap, and then hammer that down. So I got this little flap here, just going to pound it down. So it'll make a little end cap, just like the other side. And then I'll just weld along this and hopefully grind it down. It'll look okay. Now just adding the butt kicker mount to the seat frame, just tacking it in. Okay, so I got the frame on here. I have the mount for the butt kicker. Butt kicker should be just fine and do what it's supposed to do. Now what we need to do is drill some holes in here, and that way we can get the seat mounted up, and then we can work on the top frame. So we're getting real close, guys. Look at that, it's coming along. Yeah, obviously this is a lot of welding for me, but you know, I'm just taking it slow. And when I do eventually paint it, I'm going to actually probably try to smooth these down and maybe use some Bondo or whatever before I paint it. So I put these 2-inch bolts straight through. It's just going to hold the seat on for now. And when we want to adjust it, if we need to adjust it. Now, I don't think we will, but we can just move the whole thing forward, drill a couple more holes to wherever we want it. All right, so the seat is still loose. This is my first time sitting in it. Not too bad. I gotta try to remember what it's like between this rig and that rig. So you can see that there's going to be some flex unless I reinforce this area to come back up. Now I may have to move the seat forward a little bit, but right now it seems about right to me. Now if I need to move the seat up, which I'm thinking I need to come up about 1 inch or 2, I can easily do that if I would have just followed my original design and ran that extra 1.5 inch or 1.25 inch tubing right in this area. That would raise it up. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. So one of the things that you need to do is try to remember all the different components that you do use while you're building the frame. Now I almost forgot the butt kicker, and yeah, that would have been more of a pain to put on later, I think, but at least now it's on. At least I tried hard to make it look pretty good. All right guys, so to get the height of the bottom, since it's going to be a DD wheel, it's going to have that flat bottom. I want to make a plate that's at this, I think it's like 8-degree angle. I'll have to measure it, but what I want is from the bottom of the frame to the top of that angle, I'm getting 22 inches, 22 to here. And then it's going to go down to 20. Just temporary, just a few tack welds just to get the wheelbase plate up here in the proper at the proper height and make it level. And then I can start building the frame rails coming down and coming up. So I measured this out. This is gonna be temporary. It's gonna go right in the middle at the beginning, or at the driver's side of the bottom of the DD wheelbase mount. I got 21.5 inches at the front of the mount. I got 20. So I'm going to go with this 20 right here. I'm going to cut these. I'm going to weld one of these things on. I'm going to weld them right here, just tack them in. But this is just setting it up. The wheelbase is 6.5 inches. So, or the mount is 7. So right there I'm going to make a little steel plate to mount the wheelbase on. This is the wheelbase. This is 3/16 inch steel, making 6 by 7. Yep. There we go. Well, of course, you don't want to skimp on safety. That's the acetone rag. And yeah, I'm an idiot. Put it right there, and off it went. I'm going to let it burn out because it's a really dry day and there's a lot of leaves out here, so until I can get it on the ground, I'm letting it go. So these, I think, are the metric 6 size. I bought a tap for that. Yep, that's it. All right, so it's looking less like a sled and more like a decent sim rig. Okay, so the pedals, they got the right stance. I'm just not sure on the distance. They're pretty darn close. This is for the DD wheel. This little angle here, I'll give you the reading in a little bit. This is all temporary. All of this, except for the plate. We're going to be making mounts to the outside from here, and making mounts to the front, the outside of this the CSL wheelbase. That's going to help support it, and one coming up to here. So let's keep going. As you can see, I'm not really following any order. This is going to be to raise the seat 1.25 inches. So I'm just going to get this angle here. And then just bend this over and weld it so it looks cool. Well, to me it does. So we just weld these together, give them a little clamp, and then they're going to go right here. The seat will go right on top of here. Should be just fine. Plus, this kind of looks a little bit cooler than just having a whatever. It's just trying to do some new stuff. I told you I'd be pushing myself. All right, now this seems much better to me. Just that little 1.25 inches. Yeah. I can imagine the steering box right here. Basically the same angle. Now this one, the base plate, it doesn't have a removable base plate that I can tell. So, oh well, it's already fixed at a position. So I can't really put it here, it's too high. But if it was right here, I think it'd be just fine. So let's start securing the wheelbase mount. Remember, all this stuff here, this is all temporary. This is the only thing that's really matters, and that's just, that's got to be really strong. This might not be the best idea of making a 90, but I was able to get this one to go 90. We need to just tack weld this in, test fit it. Let me continue on with the second one. right, so I'm bending it like this. These two will mate up somewhere in the middle. Well, hey guys, it's coming along. I'm pretty darn happy with these bends that I was able to make. Yeah, they're not finished yet. They're just pretty much tacked, and I ground them once. And so there's a little bit of gaps that I want to put a little bit more weld in. But I can fit in here, and even with this weird extra 15 degrees, because the CSL Elite has that attached angle to it, I think having this direct drive here, it's going to work out just fine. Now, a couple things. I've got to run some conduit, and I bought a conduit bender to help me out. I need to run this down to here. So, and also from the front of this all the way around to the front of the pedals. And that way that'll keep the pedals from, they can't go anywhere, because they're pulling against a force that you just can't move. It's probably strong enough the way it is, but like I said, these are just temporary, these center pieces, just to keep the wheel base in place. I have to do a little bit of modification on the front two seat tabs. Okay, I didn't expect what happened, and let me just show you what happened. Before, this was able to push straight down, but now these bars are, they were planned, but they weren't. I guess I didn't account that they'd be in the way, so I'm gonna have to cut off these little tabs, and I'll mount a tab back here. That way I can just use a bolt straight into it. Right now, they just don't have enough to fit in between here. You're gonna make some, I wouldn't say they're judgment errors. I just say you don't know what you're gonna get when you're prototyping something. But the cool thing about this is that, I did it myself, and the cool thing about it is, you don't have to make it as complicated as this. You could make it like the rear mover. Now, this front mover, we still have to attach, the motors, and they're going to attach here to plates. They're going to push on either side. This is just the upper frame. This is going to be the one that moves. It has all your weight, all your stresses and forces on it. The U-joint is going to go down here as soon as we find the center balance point. So here comes the fun part. I've got this 10-foot section of 1/2-inch EMT conduit. I have these little boxes here. I think I'm going to weld the EMT probably to the end of the box, and then I can attach the box nice and securely to this. Hopefully it'll work. So what I got to do is I need to come from here and go straight to right about here. I want it to come away from my foot. So, I've never done this before, but got myself a 1/2-inch pipe bender. I figure I could use it anyway. It was like $30 some odd at Lowe's, but I watched a video on how to do it. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to go ahead and cut some of these things up, weld them out to the side to get them away from my feet, and come on up here. First things first, let's get an approximate amount. Something like that. So I'm going to cut it at 23 just to be safe. And 2 of them. And right now they don't have to be exact. I just need to cut them. and kind of start using the tool to bend what I need to bend. All right, so this first little bend. All right, I got 2 of them bent. It's going to come out. It's going to attach to the square, start pointing out a little bit, and then I got to bring it back in. And like I said, this is my first time doing this, so I made it mark 4 inches. I'm just going to put it right here at the beginning of this. And we'll bend it out. Make sure it's straight. Pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. So I got this last one on. Just put it in place. Would help if I had a glove because this stuff gets hot. Okay, so now that I got both of these guys on, that supports the front of the V3 pedals. We just need to make another conduit run right to here, but we don't really need these stabilizers. So I'm just going to cut them out of the way right now. All right, this is looking good. May or may not be able to see, I did fix the front mounts of the seat. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is gonna be good. You know, to do something like this, it just takes a while. You got to have a little bit of time. I worked on this pretty much all weekend just to get this part in, get the wheelbase, get these guys, and finish up the seat. So I'm a little bit winded. Still a little bit of work to do. Like I said, I'm going to be going over, I'm probably going to weld everything just a little bit more, just to correct any weirdness that I'm learning how to weld, getting a little bit better. But yeah, so if you're going to do something like this, you want to prepare ahead of time. Get yourself a little bit of time, perhaps every weekend, to just, kind of commit to it. Now, right now, I didn't want to I wanted to make sure that my knees were going to clear the bottom of the DD mount, and I may come off the side and then down. But I want everything structurally like so sound, because this thing is going to be doing everything that rig does, except just a different design. It's going to be pushing from the front. The front are actually going to connect up here to push the frame back and forth. So I tell you what, let's fit up the V3 pedals. And our CSL. You can see what I mean by the CSL Elite having this angle right here that keeps, but the DD is going to be flat. That's why I built this at a replicate angle of that. Let's put it on there. All right, still kind of looks like a sled, but this should be good. Be nice and strong. What do you guys think? Let me know. Ooh, I forgot to put the butt kicker on. All right, guys, let me know what you think. I think it's coming along. I can't wait to get my hands on one of those DD wheels either. Yeah, this is gonna be fine. So guys, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it, really do, especially the guys that gave the super thanks. It allows me to, you know, maybe get another piece of metal. But at least it helps me mentally, you know, kind of keep up doing this stuff. Because after you build one rig, you want to build another, but you know that it takes some time. But you come up with a better idea. So, hey, look, if you're going to tackle a project like this, it is going to take you a little while. I've probably been working on this probably a good month of weekends. This is episode 5. I'm trying to do one every weekend, but I skip weekends too because I'm either busy or doing something else. All right, so next episode, let's look at mounting traction loss, the motor, and the 2 front motors. So stay tuned for the next episode. And I kind of mocked everything in place, super sketchy just like this, because you know the front motors are going to attach to this mid frame. They're going to have the rods that come up and drive against the seat frame. Seat frame is going to be on this U-joint about the same height. I'm kind of old, so I don't like to squash down into a car. I like to be able to step in, so you know, whatever I need to do to make that work. And then we have the traction loss for motor back here. Plenty of room for it. I'm probably going to attach it to the mid frame just because of the bar for the traction loss. I can attach it to this back frame, and you know, it only needs like an inch of clearance to go in and out. These guys will be up here, similar situation, so should be cool. Check back in. All right guys, want to go watch Coda Formula 1? All right, Dave out.